On this episode, we dive into popular snacks at Epcot, breaking down the taste, value, portion size, and overall experience to decide whether each item is worth it or not. Today's April 1st, 2025, and this is episode 759 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. So I've got one very important question for you. Have you booked your room for Main Street 16 weekend yet? It's happening May 15th to 18th at Walt Disney World. If not, now is the time. We're staying at the Drury Inn near Disney Springs, and not only is this the perfect home base for the weekend, but when you book now at our exclusive Main Street 16 rate of just $179 a night, you'll unlock even more magic. You'll get access to exclusive meetups with Rhonda, myself, and the rest of the Main Street Magic family, plus free hot breakfast every morning, the 5:30 kickback with drinks and food each evening, and yep, free soda and popcorn daily. But wait, it gets even better. As a thank you for booking with Amy, our incredible travel advisor with MEI Travel, every room will receive a gift basket filled with our favorite snacks, beverages to keep you going through the weekend, as well as a $25 Disney gift card and a lot more. Plus, a lucky room will win a bonus $100 Disney gift card, and we'll hook you up with 4 tickets to see the new live-action Lilo & Stitch when it comes out. Don't wait, rooms are limited, and this rate won't last long. Head to mainstreet16.com right now to book your stay. We'll see you in May at the Drury Inn for a weekend full of fun, friendship, and a whole lot of Disney magic.
Happy spring and happy April, everyone. How did we get here this quick?
It's not an April Fool's joke.
No.
But it feels like one, doesn't it?
Yes.
Because we are already, into April, and we have a lot coming up. So we're getting way ahead of schedule. So we're actually going to do several episodes this weekend, and it'll cover us through Disneyland and possibly beyond. Then we'll come back from Disneyland, and we're going to have a whole bunch of episodes about that. So
yes, we are.
Yeah, just tune in for those. They'll be a lot of fun. But today we're going to go back to our Eat It or Beat It series. We started with Magic Kingdom. It was episode 750.
That was fun.
These are a lot of fun, and we go through some of the most popular snacks at each of the parks, and then we just kind of tell you if they're worth it. And it's not always just about taste, because sometimes it is about the value with the portion sizes.
Absolutely.
If maybe there's something else that you could save your money on. So that's what we kind of like to break down, as well as giving you a little history about that snack in general and some fun facts and all those types of things. So these will all be, just like Magic Kingdom, these are all snacks that we have had. So obviously there's a lot more snacks throughout Epcot.
Oh, yeah.
We're not counting the festivals.
Nope.
But these are all ones that we've had. So if something didn't make the list, that's the reason why. We don't like to talk about things we haven't done or we haven't eaten, right?
That's right.
So you want to just dive on right into our Eat It or Beat It.
Sure.
Again, it's my Michael Jackson and Weird Al reference at Epcot. Let's start off with the very first one, which we actually had more recently than not, because we had never, ever tried one.
Yeah, and we are talking about school bread over in the Norway Pavilion at the Kringla Bakery.
Yeah.
So the cost is $4.99. It is a sweet roll filled with custard and topped with coconut.
Yes, this is a traditional Norwegian pastry, and it's been a staple at the Norway Pavilion ever since 1988.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know.
And sad that was the first time we've had it.
And this is the first time we've tried it, right? So it's been around for decades,
yeah.
And this is the first we tried it was not too long ago. And this is probably one of the most talked about snacks and items at Epcot. And a lot of times it comes down to people that either absolutely love it or people tend to think it's maybe a little bit overhyped. So, having had it for the first time when we did, which was just a few months ago, is it a eat it or a beat it for you based on all of our kind of, criteria, again, with its taste, its value, its portion sizes, all that type of stuff?
This is a very, very tough one for me because I want to say completely beat it only because of the coconut on top.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything else for me is eat it. Like the sweet roll filled with the custard is really good. The cost, less than $5.
I mean, you can't beat that.
Not really. And it's huge.
It is. It is a giant shareable portion.
Yeah. I'm sad. I wish I could get one without the coconut. And then obviously that would not be. And if they did it, I think they'd have to have a reason for like allergicness.
Yeah, you'd have to probably have a allergy. They're not going to do that one, I don't think, specifically you by preference.
Right.
But I
don't even know if they could technically.
Right. I mean, I'll agree with everything you pretty much just said. Now, I think overall, I would, even if you're not a huge coconut fan, I think I would still lean towards eat it because for me, you didn't get a ton of coconut flavor. You got the coconut strings, the coconut hairs, I'll almost call them.
Right.
It's that shredded coconut that it's almost, I guess you could describe it as like al dente. It has that same kind of, it still has a little bit of bite to it and texture. And it can get kind of stuck in your teeth. But I mean, for $4.99, you start your day at, maybe you're rope dropping Frozen Ever After. Yeah. And then you hit Kringla and you get the school bread, and then you get yourself a Viking coffee. Like, I mean, that's a pretty good morning.
Yeah.
A pretty good way to start your day in Norway.
And it's nice because the bakery has a lot more
they got
than just
tons
school
of
bread.
other stuff. Yeah.
Where
that sweet pretzel.
Yes.
And
I would probably say I would probably eat a few other things over the school bread.
Yeah.
Personally.
Right. Again, and that's all coming from both of us not loving coconut.
Correct.
Flavor, textures, all of that. Correct. So, I think that's one where you take it if you're listening and go, all right, well, I don't mind coconut hairs. So I'm good. I'm going to get it. And again, $4.99.
Great. Perfect.
I don't know how they're only charging $4.99.
Yeah.
I mean, don't up the price, but that's absolutely incredible. Let's move on to our next snack. We're going to call it a snack. It is a meal. But let's be honest. We, more times than not, have gotten this to split amongst either you and I or the whole family when the girls were coming because it was something that got us to whatever our big meal of the day was going to be.
Yes, and we are talking about fish and chips at Yorkshire County Fish Shop, United Kingdom Pavilion. Yeah, and so this cost is $13.49, but you get some beer battered fish with thick cut fries.
So went back, looked at some of the history of fish and chips. In the 1860s, according to some, the first fish and chip shop was opened in London by Joseph Malin, who sold fish fried in the Jewish fashion.
Nice.
So that is kind of where it started. We know that this comes from overseas, very popular there. So this I actually did not know because this goes back, a little bit before I think, before we were super Disney nuts, I would say.
Right.
Yorkshire was previously presented by Harry Ramsden's until December 2010. Now that's a fast food restaurant chain that is in the United Kingdom, which offers fish and chips in assorted themed dishes.
Well, that's cool.
So pretty cool. I got to ask Gary about that spot.
Yeah.
I guess is that akin to our Long John Silvers, or are those still around?
I think I
have never.
I haven't
eaten
seen one in a long time, but I think so.
I've never had one. I put this question out. I don't know why on Twitter the other day. Well, I saw a commercial for Arby's and their fish sandwich, and I was kind of surprised by the answer. I didn't know that lots of people order fast food fish. For me, seafood is one thing I don't think I want in a fast food realm.
Yeah, it's a little scary in my opinion.
I think so too. And then you have like, is it Zaxby's now? I think it does like popcorn shrimp.
I think so.
Now, in those instances, we know that that's coming like frozen to the store. So it's the same as just buying it from your grocery store. I don't know why, though. I was just surprised.
McDonald's has the fish sandwich.
I know they got the Filet-O-Fish.
Yeah, that they love. People
huge.
love.
Huge. People love it. Now, Arby's, I'll give credit to because Arby's to me is one of the higher quality fast food chains.
Okay.
In my opinion, I put it second to Chick-fil-A as far as quality, service, cleanliness, and all. Usually. So
Okay.
just put that out there. But all right, so let's talk about the $13.49. This has changed over the years.
Yes, it has.
It used to be 2 much smaller pieces of cod.
Correct.
Now it is 1 giant piece.
And when we say giant, y'all,
giant.
it is huge.
Yeah, if you think of the
boat.
Yeah, the little cardboard food boat.
Yeah,
It can hang off of that.
Oh, 100%.
On top of this big thing of thick cut fries
Correct.
or chips.
Right.
So for you, is this eat it or beat it?
It's still an eat it. I'm going to eat it all day long.
Okay.
It's so good. Even when they were at 2, it was great. It just was better when it was 2 because the way it is fried and the fish, and when you get that giant piece, when you get towards that middle, unfortunately, there's not the same ratio of fish to batter. So some of the fish you're eating completely just fish and no batter, which it's a cod.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it how do I explain it? It can be creamier.
Yeah,
and
no, that
not
makes sense.
flaky.
Yep, you're right.
Where it can be scary to your brain because you're like, is this cooked? Is this done?
Right.
And when you get that breading and that crunch, it's just perfection.
Yeah.
So that's the only sad part. Don't get me wrong. When we had it most recent and Jeremy was like, I'm done because we got to the bigger part and there was no more breading and I was eating it and it was creamy. I was like, all right, it doesn't taste like fish. It's good. Like I had to, and I was eating it with the tartar sauce that they have there that you can put on there. And I thought it was still good. Like, and I was trying to do this for the research purposes and go, all right, and that's what I came to the conclusion of.
This is hard for me now. When they had the 2 pieces, this is one of the most easy eat-its I've ever had. The only reason I would say beat it now is because of that giant piece of fish. And, again, we give all these types of examples and talk about our insanity with different food textures and items because I know that we're not the only ones.
100%.
So there may be other people that are like, okay, that's fine. I get to that center fish. If there's no breading and it's whatever, I'll eat it. I love that fish,
right.
Which is understandable. There's going to be some other people that are nuts like us and you get to that centerpiece and it's a little iffy. The only reason I can't say fully beat it is because you should try this. It is a staple in Epcot. It is delicious when you get all the right portions and that breading to fish ratio is perfect. The chips are great. Mm-hmm. You get some malt vinegar, which I never did growing up because malt vinegar was usually what was on the table when you went to the boardwalk at Ocean City and you had Thrasher fries, and I never put malt vinegar on them. I just didn't. I don't know that I ever tried it.
Did you miss out?
I missed out forever on Thrasher fries and malt vinegar because it sets it off. And first time we ever tried it, Gary and Claire were here from Scotland, and we went down and we visited and went to the parks a couple days, and they had them there, and he said, you got to put malt vinegar. I was like, I'll try it. Loved it.
And I think the neatest part was Gary and Claire both agreed that this is legit. And I was like, shut up. I was like so excited. That's another reason I'll eat it.
The folks from the United Kingdom that were in the elevator with us that one time when we stayed slightly off property, they said it was rubbish. We didn't ask. They were talking about it behind us in the elevator.
Yeah, that's
and they thought it was rubbish. But
maybe because
I know Gary, and I will say Gary is a foodie like me. So we send each other pictures of our food all the time, and they did say it was legit. So I think you have to try this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You really, really do. And even better is you get this at Yorkshire and you take it over into Rose and Crown before 4 p.m. and you go in the back, get yourself a beer or snake bite, whatever you want from there. We get our Heineken Zeros now because Rose and Crown carries those.
Yep.
And you get your English beer or whatever it may be, and your fish and chips, and you just go sit and you relax. And you do this mid-afternoon after a rope drop morning, when you did Frozen Ever After and you got your school bread and your Viking coffee and it's hot out and you need a break. You want to go in there, get the AC, a nice seat. And in that case, I will put this one at Eat It. I
Okay.
just had to have all those like little asterisks and disclosures underneath it, I feel
Okay.
like. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is one that is popular in the festivals because they change up and they have a new one every festival. But
Yes.
you can also get the OG.
Yes, and this is a Liege Waffle at Connections Café in World Celebration. The cost is $4.49. It is a brioche dough waffle with pearl sugar and caramelized crust.
So according to tradition, the personal cook of the Prince Bishop of Liege created the Liege waffle in the 18th century, offering a sweeter variation of the typical waffle for the royal court. So the Liege waffle is one of the most difficult of waffles between like Liege waffle, Belgian waffle, standard waffles to make because it's actually a dough that has to be fermented and tempered to get the right texture.
Wow.
So it's not and that, you know, when you bite one for the first time, you can tell because it's very dense. Mm-hmm. And when you get your light and airy Belgian waffles, you know, everybody's made waffle mix at home.
100%.
You pour it. This is a dough that you put in the press and all. So it is a different style. This has this crystallized like sugar on top. What do you think of this? We had this about a week after Connections opened. Remember, we got burgers and pizzas. We're there, I believe, with Chuck and Allie. So what are your thoughts on the Liege waffle? Eat it or beat it? And we've done some festival ones. Now, one thing I will say I like
It's
about
been
the
a while.
festival ones is, now we haven't had one probably in the past year,
Right.
but when we did previously, they were bagged and
Right.
ready to go over at Connections Café where the Starbucks is. So you could actually take it with you. And we brought a Figment one home last Festival of
Right.
the Arts.
So I'm going to say I need to go get one.
Again?
This, like, whenever the next time we're there, because of the sheer fact that unfortunately it's forgettable for me. So
Okay.
this is why I'm going to say beat it.
Okay.
I love waffles,
Mm-hmm.
so I would think I would like it. I just
It's a very different style. I'm going to say eat it because I thought this thing was absolutely incredible.
okay.
I'm not a huge waffle pancake guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. I love Mickey waffles because they are small and in that exterior kind of crust to the inside is a perfect ratio. I like that. But this thing just blew my mind when I had it. And what it comes down to is that pearl sugar, I think, that's on top. It has a crunch to it. It is very dense, but it gets that kind of Belgian waffle flavor, but then that sweetness from the sugar. It doesn't come off as breakfast. You know, when you hear waffle,
Right.
it doesn't come
Right.
off as breakfast. It comes off as dessert. And that's what we had it as that day that we got it. So, I don't know why we haven't gotten it again, because probably we just, there's so much to do and eat at Epcot
Yeah.
all the time. We are mostly focused on festival foods or dining packages like we did so recently. So we don't even, most of the time that we get into Connections is to fill up water.
Well, and don't you have to buy the Liege waffle from the Starbucks line?
No, this one I believe you can still get from the regular
Because I
Connections.
know that we've also unfortunately gone
Those
to
were
do
the festival
it.
ones that are prepackaged.
Yes.
And they're ready to
And
just
we've gone
grab
to
and
do
go.
it,
Yeah.
but
And that line's
that
insane.
line sometimes
Yeah.
is very long, so we have not.
I mean, once Flower and Garden ends, and now I think we're more prepared now. Like, hey, we have Diet Epcot during the summer again. Like we'll make a point at looking at
We
saying
need to.
now we got to get back to
Yes.
Connections in general and eat and get a burger and a pizza
100%.
and get the Liege waffle and all. But I'm gonna
Yes.
say eat it. I know you're gonna say beat it because it was unforgettable for you. But we will go back and see what you think the next time.
Yeah.
What is our next little snack here?
So we're going to Japan and going to Katsura Grill for the California roll. This is a $12 cost. Sushi roll with crab, imitation crab, avocado, and cucumber topped with sesame seeds.
So the Japanese-born chef, I will butcher this, Hidekazu Tojo, a resident of Vancouver since 1971, claims that he created the California roll at his restaurant in the late 1970s. Not a lot of fun facts about Katsura Grill or the California roll in general, but did you know that the tower there, it is modeled after the Himeji Castle, one of the best preserved fortresses of early Japan.
Well, that's really cool.
California rolls, everybody knows what they are. If you've had sushi, you've had a California roll. I would say it is the introductory to sushi for most people.
Yeah.
You know, because everything is, air quote, cooked. It doesn't have any kind of raw fish and all in there. What do you think about having this at Katsura Grill? We've had this with the girls before. They used to go in and get teriyaki chicken all the time. Is this a eat it or beat it if you kind of have a sushi craving and you're in Epcot, do you think?
Well, again, this is something I haven't had in a while. But I feel like I'd say beat it. I feel like there's other places I'd want to spend my money.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it. I'd rather spend my money on the teriyaki chicken.
I would too here. Yeah, and $12 is a lot.
Yeah.
If you're looking for sushi, go to Kona, go to Morimoto,
Yes.
Go to Splitsville.
Yeah.
Actually has wonderful sushi. This is a perfectly good California roll.
Yeah.
And they give you exactly what they say they're going to give you. The problem for me is it's $12. It is not unique. And every Wednesday, I can get this exact same roll basically at
For
Publix
$5.
for $5.
Yes, you can. Yep.
And I get we're in a theme park. You're getting sushi, But the other thing that I think would make me feel better is, every time, I think she lives at our Publix, the woman that rolls the sushi
I do too.
there.
It's
I've
hysterical.
never walked by and she's not there. And I go to
Correct.
Publix a lot.
Yeah.
No matter time of day,
Yeah.
day of week, no matter
She's
what.
there.
And she's always right there
100%.
rolling sushi
100%.
right in front of you. You know it was made that morning. It tastes as fresh as can be.
Yeah, it's real good.
If the setup for this was maybe different and you saw that, and maybe if these were either a little bit, I'll just say beefier, a little bit bigger, or it was like a California blue crab roll over
Right.
at California Grill. But then obviously you have to up that charge by a lot, which then takes away from the quick service aspect.
Correct.
So, I would look at a Splitsville, a Morimoto, a Kona, places like that if you want to go get good sushi. And if you want some of the best in a California roll, go listen to the episode where we stayed at the Contemporary a couple episodes ago. Go up and do the bar/lounge area at California Grill and get the California blue crab roll.
Yes.
It is spot on.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to our next one. Is a fan favorite. This is kind of one of those, I think, when it came out and people started finding it, it kind of almost broke the internet in a sense. What do we got?
Pretzel Bread Pudding from Summerfest in Germany. The cost is $4.79. This is pretzel bread pudding with vanilla and caramel sauces.
So bread pudding's roots are in the 11th century in Britain, where cooks repurposed stale bread, often with simple ingredients like boiling water, sugar, and spices. The architecture in Germany was inspired by the buildings of Bavaria and the Rhine region of Germany. Other details come from communities of the German North. The statue in the center of the plaza is of St. George, the patron saint of soldiers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Very interesting.
That's really cool about the history, too, because it makes sense. Like, you get stale bread.
You hear this. You hear this a lot.
Yeah.
And I hear it a lot from watching like Food Network in the Kitchen. They'll always talk about stuff like hush puppies. These were the scraps that they would throw to the dogs and say hush puppies because they were barking for the food and all. So it's interesting the way things come about. I believe like when the buffalo wing was invented, it was another thing. A lot of times there's things that come in, like somebody comes in late night to a bar or restaurant and it's a big timer or something and they don't have something, so they throw it together and they create this new amazing dish.
Right.
So that's kind of where bread pudding comes from.
Yeah.
Bread pudding has become one of those things now where if we see it on a menu, we're most likely going to get it, along with the creme brulees and things like that.
Yep.
So pretzel bread pudding,
Yes.
made from German pretzels. How do you feel about this one? Eat it or beat it?
Absolutely. I do need to get it again because the very first time I believe y'all had it, I did not.
Yeah, we had it, Kat and Michael,
Yep.
and I think Jossie and Nick were there at that time too, and we all kind of took a bite. You were probably in caramel. Touche.
I think so.
And we were eating that because it's not a big portion.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then the next time I had it, I just had a bite and then it was good, but it was just one of those things where I think we were busy and it wasn't like I was like really getting to eat it. So I am going to get this again because just reading it and like thinking about it sounds like I think I need this all by myself almost. I mean, $4.79.
And that's what's going to turn it to an eat it for me. The price on this, you can't beat. This is worth your $5 to try it. I do think it's very good. I wish that it was
More pretzel-y?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get the pretzel flavor from it. To me, it tastes like a pretty standard good bread pudding with the caramel and the vanilla sauces on it. I wish it had that more of that German pretzel Bavarian flavor, the one that you get out there, the giant huge pretzel. And I wish that it had some cracked sea salt on top with it as well, which I think would just add to that kind of pretzel flavoring for it. So if this was $8.79 for the same size, I would say don't bother.
I agree.
But at $4.79, get it, split it, and most likely the next time you will each want one. I can pretty much tell you that because it is, and it's tucked back there, where Summerfest is, which is selling brats, and now we go there because they do have a non-alcoholic beer. Sauerkraut to me, I can barely stand the taste. I walk back to Summerfest like I walk into a nail salon. Like shirt over my nose. I can only spend so much time. Or you with perfume and cologne stores, right?
Oh God,
it's just so overwhelming. It stings the nostrils. Yeah. So I don't like to spend too much time back there. And the line can get long sometimes, especially right after they open. People want to go. They got the big huge brats there with the sauerkraut. They've got some beers. They've got the non-alcoholic beer, but you can get this there as well. So do recommend this one. Let's move on to the next one. No, we've not had it here, but we had it at Animal Kingdom.
Yes,
and
we
it
did.
is the same thing.
Yeah, and
Kakigōri.
I don't even know if I should try to say it because that is what I was gonna say, Kakigōri. Yeah. But then I was like, I'm probably gonna get it wrong. But this is from Kabuki Cafe in the Japan Pavilion. This cost is $5.50. This is authentic shaved ice syrup imported from Japan. You can have lemon, blue Hawaii, melon, strawberry, or a grape. And then you can have optional condensed milk.
Yeah, blue Hawaii, one of my favorite flavors.
Well,
and I just love the name because it tells you exactly what it tastes like.
It
tastes like Hawaii and it's blue.
It's like a blue raspberry.
I know. Those don't exist.
Okay.
There aren't blue raspberries, but one day it's like the banana flavoring. Somebody went, they're like, hey, what flavor is this? Blue Hawaii. Okay. It sounds good. So the origins of Kakigōri date back to the Heian period in Japanese history. This was from 794 to 1185.
That's insane.
A couple years back, when blocks of ice saved during the colder months would be shaved and served with sweet syrup to Japanese folks during the summer. So again, this is out of necessity. We have all these blocks of ice. They're going to melt. Let's shave them down, put some syrup on them, serve it. The name Kakigōri actually means shaved ice in Japanese, and it's been served here since 2011.
That's amazing.
What are your thoughts on the Kakigōri?
I would say eat it with the condensed milk.
Agreed.
Not by itself.
Otherwise it's a snow cone to Americans.
100%.
Yep. That condensed milk changes it.
Yeah, the melon and I think that's the one we did.
Yeah, I believe so. And
so good.
Delicious.
So
it really adds this perfect sweetness to it.
So good.
What I've started doing, I had it this morning at Starbucks. They have the Passion Tango tea. It's like I think it's their only caffeine free one, so I get that one. And I've been adding cold foams to it. And this morning I did the strawberry cold foam. And it reminds me of the way the Kakigōri works.
Nice.
It adds that little bit of subtle sweetness, a creaminess to an otherwise very, very standard, Kona ice, shaved ice food truck that drives around our neighborhood, or you find at every event, which are wonderful. They're delicious.
Yes.
It's sugary syrup and shaved ice. It's great. But you can get it anywhere you want outside of Epcot pretty much for the most part. You add that sweetened condensed milk, and it's a game changer. Also in coffee. Sweetened condensed milk.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
Is it a Cuban thing, I believe?
I think so, because of Coronado.
Yeah, I think it might be. All right, let's move on. I feel like we should save this one for last, but let's just smack dab it there in the middle a little bit. What do we got, Rhonda?
The Werther's Original Caramel Snickerdoodle Snicker.
Whoa there. Don't get that one. You do not want the Snickerdoodle one. It's gross. Quite off-putting.
Snickerdoodle cookie sandwich from Carmel Couche, Germany Pavilion. Oh, sorry. The cost
you're caught off so much now by the duties.
The cost is $7.79. This is 2 Werther's Original caramel-filled Snickerdoodle
There you go.
cookies layered with salted caramel buttercream, frosted, and caramel drizzle.
Yeah, let me just say the stuff that you're not going to care about. Everybody knows our answer.
I would care.
No, in the little town of Werther, Germany in 1909, the confectioner Gustav Nebel created the now iconic butter candy recipe.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for doing that. Opening in September 27th of 2010, sponsored by Stork and Werther's Candy, Caramel Couche opened as the only freestanding retail location in the world for Stork. It took the place, I did not remember this or know this. It took the place of Glas and Porcelain, which sold glassware, figurines, and Hummel and Goebel little collectible characters. So that's what used to be there. And I am so glad they got rid of it.
Yeah, me too.
And they replaced it with this.
100%.
I mean, does anybody wonder what we're going to say about this?
We're going to eat it all day long and multiple times.
Yeah,
and
every
we're gonna
time we go
buy
there,
it.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shocked we haven't, but we've been planning on other desserts. That's why we haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
But it's there. And yes, either way.
Yeah.
It's so
and
good.
they'll change it up. They'll have
they
other
will.
cookies. The carrot cake one.
Carrot cake is there.
I enjoyed, but the cookie portion really is like cake. Like, you know, if you take cooked cake and you hold it, part of it, you know, the skin of the cake, that's the best thing to call it, is going to come off and stick to your fingers. That's what the texture and all of that was. But this Snickerdoodle, I don't care. It could be Snickerdoodle, and I would still eat it if it tastes like this. It is
so good.
I think it's one of my top favorite desserts on property. It is easily in the top 5 for me.
I agree.
Out of everything.
Yeah.
Like, I love this more than anything.
Yeah.
And it's shareable in the sense because it is very sugary and sweet and rich.
Yeah.
But you'll want to share it only because otherwise you will eat the entire thing and probably feel bad about yourself.
Well, you don't want to eat it, first of all by yourself in one sitting, in my opinion. You want to take a couple of bites, put it back in its little case, take bites later. That's when I would say, yes, get 2 of them and you each get one. But, or just almost eat it in one sitting and just share it. So. Yeah,
and what I love about this thing holds up. You know, like we've done many of times. We have bought it. Yeah. We've carried it around Epcot for hours. Yep. It's gone. We've taken a bite or 2 while we're there. It's gone back to our room. We might take another bite or 2, and we brought the rest home. And through all of that travel, unlike the beef, I can't even say the word it was, as I felt like I'm going to say a bad word. You got me thinking about duty now. The beef that we had at Nine Dragons, you know, it went on a journey. Yeah, and it doesn't hold up. This thing holds up on whatever journey you may take it upon.
Yes, it does.
Like, you could have this on. Don't do this because it would be mean to everyone around you. You could have this on your last day. Just say it's at Epcot, and you take it on the plane ride home. You know, you have a bag as your carry-on, and you got this in there for a snack. Everybody around you is going to be jealous, but it will hold up. It will pretty much taste exactly like the moment you bought it, which I think is super impressive. Yeah, especially for a dessert. Yes, right.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's go on to the next one. We got a few more left here. What is the next one?
The next one is Traditional Poutine, the refreshment port near Canada Pavilion. This cost is $7.50. This is French fries with beef gravy and cheese curds.
Apologies, French and Canadian people. The dish was created in the Centre du Quebec area. Sounds good enough. In the late 1950s, several restaurants in the area claim to be the originators of the dish, but there's no consensus on who actually created it.
Wow.
Little fun fact, though, much like the Liege Waffle, during festivals, there will be different versions of this poutine.
Yes.
Often, they are not poutine. They really aren't. You know,
correct.
Disney and places want to call everything poutine when in reality, a lot of times it's loaded fries. You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. And I'm going to eat it. I'm going to try it. And most of the time I still enjoy it. I love loaded fries or disco fries, you know, poutine, all of that. Just if you're someone, again, who is expecting a more traditional poutine, this is the one. Not the festival ones. Not a lot of the stuff that they have over at Daily Poutine at Disney Springs even, because they're getting kind of weird and fancy over there. So for you, Is this an eat it or beat it? Let's just focus on the traditional one.
I'm going to say no on the traditional one.
Okay, really? Okay. I will go with eat it. I think it's a perfect. I've not had poutine in Canada, so for a Canadian true poutine, well,
At
not, I know, but I'm saying like actually in Canada.
Like you went to Canada and had
right.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
To me, this is what it says it's going to be. It's the French fries. It's got the gravy. It's got the cheese curd. There's no thrills. There's nothing else going on with it. It is a traditional poutine. It's a flavorful gravy. Nice pops of those cheese curds.
Well,
so again, it doesn't have to be yours. your answer, but for me, it's
I mean, I guess you can sway me. I guess like if we were like having to whatever, but I just would. Again, we had it when we went to Le Cellier. We didn't love it.
We didn't love it there.
This one, I don't feel like we loved, but the different festival ones we have found where we really like some of them.
Yeah. The current one is delicious.
Yes, it is. And so was
we like the Capri one, the
Capri
one. Some of that shrimp scampi one was not. We did not care for that.
No,
one.
we did not.
The problem I think with a lot of these variations that they do is it's all whoever did invent poutine, I feel like invented in a way that they said, all right, we're going to have crispy fries that's going to be covered in a liquid. It's going to be covered in gravy. But we're going to develop this dish and make it so that the fries don't all get soggy. And what happens with a lot of these loaded fries / poutines they try to create, they're so loaded with stuff they don't need that all the fries are soggy by the time you get past that first layer.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the issue with a lot of those. If I'm going to eat loaded fries, poutine, whatever, I want a crisp to the fry to balance out the soft gravy and the pop of the cheese curds and all. So, and I mean, I think $7.50 for this is a really good snack option. Again, that's shareable and something that could hold you over a little bit till you're doing an actual sit-down meal or quick service or something. All right, we're going to just go a little bit over in Canada. What is the next one? Our most recent snack.
The maple popcorn at the popcorn stand. So your cost is $7 for maple flavored popcorn, or if you do bring a bucket, your cost is $2.50.
Yeah, bring a refillable bucket back. We took this past weekend our annual pass holder one. We got 2 years ago or whatever,
and they filled it up.
Refill,
for
or you can buy one there. You can buy a new one there if you've not got one yet.
Correct.
And okay, so let's go to some of the fun stuff.
Yep.
Emerged as a variation of caramel corn, which makes sense.
100% sense.
With its history intertwined with the broader history of both popcorn and maple syrup, with early examples dating back to the 1890s. That is I didn't think it would go back so far.
I didn't either.
Behind the stand there is Victoria Gardens, which are inspired by the Butchart Gardens near Victoria, British Columbia.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're inspired by those. You can get some real deal Canada there if you want. Eat it or beat it for this
Absolutely
maple popcorn.
Eat it. It's so good, especially for the price of a refillable. I mean, you really can't beat it.
Yeah.
I love how it tastes, but let me say this, the way they pump the smell, and I swear they do.
Oh, they do. They got smellitizers.
That it smells like it's going to taste
It smells more than it tastes.
Yes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And it's really good. And I think because we haven't had it in a while and we just did.
Yep.
I was like, oh man, I forget this is not as sweet and crazy that I want to get this again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I think saying it's a marriage of caramel corn and maple syrup is the perfect description.
100%.
But it feels like a caramel corn. It's not like it's sticky. It's not like everything's sticking together. It's messy in that sense. You would think of like a maple syrup. We just found yesterday the butterbeer skinny popcorn.
We did.
At Costco.
Yeah. It's a big old bag.
It's good. It's not super heavy on the butterbeer flavor. To me, it tastes a lot more like a light kettle corn, I would say.
I agree.
I wish that the butterbeer skinny popcorn had the same strength of flavor that this maple popcorn has, just in a butterbeer format, if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Because they're very, very similar.
Yeah.
And this is another one, like Ronna said, you refill that bucket, you got the top on it, we have the little handle you can disconnect, put it on our bag, carry it around, and we ate this popcorn up until we got home.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that's great about it is you put that top on it, it seals the lid, and it was still fresh when we got it home, several days later. Because we got that, I think, on the first day
I believe
we were there, and 4 days later, I was still eating a little bit of it, and it was delicious, and it tasted fresh. So definite eat it from both of us. All right, we got one more. This is the Croque Glacé at the L'Artisan des Glaces in France, the ice cream shop.
Yes, it is.
I took your part, so how much is it?
That's fine.
And what is it? I couldn't pronounce it either, so it didn't really matter, did it?
No, it didn't. It's $10.95. So this is one scoop of your choice of ice cream, and then they put it in a homemade brioche bun and press it, and it's all warm.
Yeah. And cold at the same time. And you get a sauce. You pick a sauce drizzle in there as well.
Yes.
And they press them right in front of you. Mm-hmm. Kind of seals it a little bit. And it's got a little Mickey on it, like a little branded Mickey on the outside, which is great.
Yeah.
So what I could find about this, some of the history of this, is the brioche ice cream sandwich, which was known as the brioche con gelato in Italian, is a Sicilian breakfast and dessert staple. But there it's a brioche bun. It's filled with gelato, and the gelato melts kind of into the bread. So similar, just gelato instead of ice cream that they're doing here.
Right.
You can also, on this menu, if you choose, is an ice cream martini, which is a unique twist on the classic cocktail. They actually make basically a martini and they put a scoop of ice cream in it. And
I've actually seen it.
We never had one.
I never had one, and I never got one. And then now that I've made my decision, I'm not going to get one, but I have heard it's wonderful.
Yeah. So with this, a pressed ice cream sandwich, eat it or beat it.
Absolutely eat it, because it can be a different eat it every time because of your choice of ice cream. Like the very first time, I would like to go back and do this again, because I would like to get two actually, and then try let you do your own, let me
pick one. You pick one,
and then taste it, because I liked ours, but I don't know if we picked the right ice cream. It was just, I don't know. It was one of those things where I'm like, I feel like this can be, oh my gosh, amazing. Or, because of the picks that you choose.
Right. Yeah, I agree. This reminds me of Mexican fried ice cream in a sense, because you get it and you go, how'd you do that? Mm-hmm. Right? Because the inside, while part of that ice cream does melt a little bit into the interior of the brioche bun, which gives that great extra flavor, a lot of the ice cream stays ice cream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's a big melted mess that you're going to bite into it and it's going to pour out everywhere. So it's just, how'd they do that? And it's so cool because I can only think of it as like the Subway method, because I feel like they started it where you walk in and you go, all right, here's my ice cream selections.
Right.
And a cast member comes up, you go, I'll pick this ice cream, and they get it. And then you say, I'll take this sauce, and they get it. And then they put it in the bun, they press it right in front of you in that special little press machine, and then they hand it to you in like a little wrapper, and you eat it again. It's warm, but it's cold. It's sweet, but it has a little bit of savory kind of aspect to it. The thing is amazing. And $11 I think is very shareable.
Yeah.
But you might not want to. Yeah. So now that we haven't had it since I became addicted to ice cream. So that's why I really want to go back and definitely get it. But I like the idea of us each picking our own.
Yeah.
And you brought up a great point that, looking back, the Kakigōri is one that you can kind of vary it every time with your flavor. But other than that, you could go get this time after time after time again and have it technically be different based on the flavors that you're picking to go inside
100%.
of it. So 100% eat it there.
Yes.
So we'll move on to the next one. When we do the next episode, will be about Hollywood Studios. We'll do one, of course, for Animal Kingdom, and then I think we'll do one probably for Disney Springs.
Okay.
So look for those episodes, obviously, coming up in the future. We have a whole lot coming up. So we got our Small World Challenge that is happening April 10th. Go to mainstreet16.com. Learn about that. Learn about Main Street 16. Team registration is open, so you can do the challenge on Saturday.
Yay.
We're putting some finishing touches on our amazing race-style scavenger hunt that is going to take you through Disney Springs on Friday, which is going to be, it's more laid back, and it'll be a little more, relaxing in a sense than the challenge.
Nice.
But it's only through Disney Springs. We got a lot of cool stuff coming with there. We got some cool prizes. Most importantly, we have our room block at the Drury Inn, $179 a night. Not only, and you got to book through our wonderful MEI travel advisor, Amy.
Yes.
So go out to mainstreet16.com. There's a little form, name, phone, email. She will get back to you. You get that $179 rate. We have exclusive things that are only happening at the Drury for those guests, so you can't participate in some of the meetups and the award ceremony unless you're a guest.
Right.
as well as their 5:30 kickback every night that you're there, which includes 3 alcoholic beverages per adult, each night that you're there, legit food and good food, full hot breakfast of all kinds every morning, so you can get ready before you go to the parks or do the challenge or whatever. Plus, Rhonda and I have decided we're going to throw in a little bit extra for each room booked. You also will get with your room a little gift basket from us. It's going to have some of our favorite snacks and little beverages and stuff to get you through the weekend. $25 Disney gift card you can use that weekend.
Ooh, do I get
some
a
other
basket
treats? Some other, you don't get one, but I'm staying with you. So we'll give one to Matt because he's going to stay with us. So
Okay.
I'll sneak the gift card out before he sees it. And then we're also going to put all those rooms in a drawing for an additional $100 Disney gift card.
Wow.
And once Lilo and Stitch comes out, if you win that little thing, you just hit me up and we will make sure we get you 4 tickets to go see the live action Lilo and Stitch at whatever theater you prefer near your hometown or whatever it may be. But again, all of that only if you're staying at the Drury Inn. So go to mainstreet16.com, fill out that form, and we will see you out there. I hope for all of the wonderful content coming, including our trip to Disneyland for our first time on April 16th. Go ahead and hit subscribe so you get these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Finally, Rhonda and myself, we'd be super thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.